Hello and welcome to the sideboard here at SCGORL in Orlando. My name is Ruben Bressler and I'm joined by David McDarby. How you doing, David?
Hey, wonderful. How are you doing, Ruben?
I'm doing great. And one of the reasons that you're doing well already is not just because we're in beautiful, warm Florida, but also because you're playing a really fun deck.
Yeah, I came here to have fun. Winning is a side of it, but I want to have fun, man.
Yeah, there you go. And we're calling it 5-color ramp, but it has many names.
Many names. 5-color Ollie Antrazi. This is mostly his deck. Ollie Antrazi Pocahontas, being in Disney World. You know,
All the
colors of the wind.
Sure. Yeah. And it really is just it's just all of the best spells and standards shoved into a deck together.
Last invitation, I played the greatest hits of the Esper Shard. Now I'll play the greatest hits of Magic the Gathering.
Right.
So
of the standard format.
Yes.
So basically, the key pieces that hold this deck together are your ramp pieces, which are Sylvan Primordial.
Yep.
Chromatic Lantern. And Axebane Guardian.
Return Ravnica Limited All-Star. Yeah, so this guy is sweet that if I have Sylvan Primordials out or multiple ones of him, he taps for a lot of mana really quickly in any colors you want.
So yeah, you can play an Axebane Guardian, and if you draw Caryatid later, it really only costs 1 mana.
Yeah.
Because you're able to earn the mana back, so to speak, off the Axebane Guardian. Also, it's nice that your Caryatid and your Lantern both avoid traditional removal.
Yeah, you can't kill him. You can only Devour Flesh Sylvan Caryatid. You can't do anything to Chromatic Lantern. Chromatic Lantern is pretty good in this deck. I need it a lot. It's Lantern Robust on some spells, but you know, it's still a lot of fun and sweet.
Sure.
But there's no like traditional Farseek or Rampant Growth in this format. There's no put lands into play like early on. So we need to send these dinky creatures to, you know, cast our sweet spells.
Right, and speaking of sweet spells, we're ramping up, that was a good segue, to some big fatties and some big X spells.
X spells,
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, I minored in math in college, so let's talk about X spells.
X, we're going to solve for X. We have both of them, both of the two biggest X spells in the format. Yeah. Rakdos' Return and Sphinx's Revelation.
That one, yeah.
Living together in a green deck.
Yeah, that's fine. We have Chromatic Lantern.
Fair.
Yeah, all things are possible through Chromatic Lantern, which you don't understand, Ruben.
I have not prayed at the Church of Chromatic Landing.
Haven't,
so
no.
I guess I haven't lived yet. But Sphinx's Revelation, Rakdos' Return are true X for ones. They're the definition.
Yeah, we all know Sphinx Revelation against mono black when they Thoughtseize. They got to take it, or you're just going to untap and draw a million cards. I've got ramp spells, so I've got to bridge my way into casting on my sweet spells. Sphinx Rev can do that. Rakdos' Returns can kill Dharma Raid or Xenagos, like the red-green deck that's getting popular, CVM and BBD. And Rakdos' Return also just a spell that often wins the game. Cast a ramp spell on 3. On turn 4, you Rakdos' Return for 3, or 4 maybe if you have another ramp spell. And the game's pretty much over.
Yeah, Rakdos' Return with 5 mana is a lot better than Sphinx's Revelation
for 5 mana. Yep, that's why it costs 1 less.
Right, there you go. And Sphinx's Revelation, of course.
You know what that card does.
I mean, yeah. Stroke of Genius gets way better later in the game than Fireball does, even though Fireball's pretty sweet late in the game.
I'm a base green deck, but you don't need blue, white, red, or green until turns 5, 6, 7. So by then, got some temples, some dual lands. I'll have some mana.
Right. Yeah. Black is really, truly a splash in this deck.
Yeah, black and red are
although when we get to the sideboard, there are some important black sideboard options that we have to talk about. But first, we actually have to win the game.
Win the game somehow, yeah. It's not Elixir of Immortality.
Right.
I want to win the game.
Yep. Eventually, we have Blood Baron of Viscopa.
Yeah, I've got
some in the main, some in the sideboard. Because you were saying that you want 4 of that card in your 75 when you're playing Standard.
Mono Black is one of the 3 big decks: Mono Black, Mono Blue, and Red Green Devotion, maybe Blue Eye Control are the main decks. And Blood Baron is lights out for Mono Black. Devour Flesh is a real bad against him because they've got all these mana dorks. They've got Devour Flesh anyway. So Blood Baron survives a lot more in this deck. And if someone's playing the Soldier of the Pantheon decks or whatever, Blood Baron is also some way to just play it. You got Brave the Elements. Hope you don't. Usually they do though, so I always die. But he's there for.
But even against Mono Blue, their only outs are really Cyclonic Rift to fog it for a turn or to rapidly hybridize it. And if they're doing that, then they're not doing it to one of your 7 drops.
My 7 drops.
And your 7 drops in this deck are Sylvan Primordial. And Angel of Serenity.
Yeah, Angel of Serenity. People forgot about that guy. Used to be the Scourge of Standard, linking angels together, bringing back your Thrag, Tusk, and all that stuff. Well, she's back. She can bring back Blood Barons, Sylvan Primordials, Axebane Guardians. Hey, they're creatures, you know.
Occasionally.
But also, people are playing tokens. People are pack ratting. People are satering. People are doing all these things with dinky creatures. And Angel of Serenity is oftentimes a flame wave that just targets them, gets their guys, and I can attack with the 5/6.
Right. And then you have Sylvan Primordial if you need more power.
Yeah, Sylvan Primordial is mainly known in my circles as the successor to Primeval Titan in the Commander format. He kills anything besides a creature, but who cares about creatures? And he blocks everything. He blocks Desecration Demon. He blocks Stormwrath Dragon, even when it's monstrous. He does everything you never want. And he blows up a land that has Underworld on it, a Planeswalker, a god equipment, like anything at all. He kills all that stuff.
Sure.
And I get forced.
And he also gets another force.
Yeah, so I can ramp into my 9-drop spells like Sphinx's Revelation.
There you go. Exactly. Sylvan Primordial has an ability that I've been referring to as Root Trap.
Root Trap.
Which is borrowing from the Kaijudo world a little bit because it destroys a permanent and then gets a land. But
They also they're the same amount of mana.
They are. 7 mana, although you get a 6/8 with Reach
6/8.
in Standard.
Yeah.
Moving over to the sideboard, I was mentioning your black spells. You have a lot of... the best sideboard cards in Standard, it seems, are black.
Yeah, yeah.
And so most of your sideboard is actually some manner of black spell.
Well, greatness at any cost. That's the black mana. We can do anything, just a little bit of life.
Right.
So spells like Thoughtseize.
Right.
Like,
we have 3 Thoughtseize in a deck that is trying to ramp and do all this crazy stuff. Sometimes you have to keep the game fair.
Yeah, well, Thoughtseize is mainly for the opposing Sphinx Revelation decks, but usually they play fair with like removal spells and like Planeswalkers and Azorius Charms and all that nonsense. I don't want to do that, but like I still need someone to interact with them that can get their cards out. Well, because like my spells don't affect their hand besides Raptor's turns. Thoughtseize can get a dissolve that's going to stop my ramp spell or my big guy or what have you. And you don't need Thoughtseize on turn 1. Turn 2 is at the earliest because you've got other temples, but you can have it at turn 3, 4, or 5 before you cast, say, a Sphinx Revelation for like 4. It's still fine.
Yeah, if all you're really trying to do is snag Sphinx's Revelations, you can wait till turn 5 or 6.
Yeah, and I play an Angel. If they kill it, I'll just Angel for the other Angel. Right. You gotta kill all of them?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, they can't kill all of them.
They can detention sphere
They
some
can
of them.
detention sphere some of them. You also have Vraska.
Vraska
the Unseen is a card that I think... It's the Unseen.
I didn't see that coming.
Moving on. Vraska the Unseen is a card that I consider very much like Frost Titan, in that it's the... Frost Titan was considered the worst of the Titans, but the best against opposing Titans.
He was a Titan killer.
Yeah.
Vraska is a Planeswalker killer.
Yep.
Also Detention Sphere or Underworld Connections killer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She kills anything except for lands. And then they have to kill her. But she's a good catch-all. Like, I don't need a lot of cheap removal stuff because I've got ramp. So the 5-drop is a sweet spot for this deck.
Yes.
So Vraska is a good catch-all to doing anything you ever want.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see if I can kill people with Assassins, but it might be difficult.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit difficult in this deck, but maybe you can clear a bunch of blockers out of the way.
Angels, Trinity, and...
Or Mizium Mortars, which we also
Mizium
have.
Mortars. I have Mizium Mortars, and I think 6 lands that make red. No, 5 lands that make red.
But
Chromatic
all things
Landing.
are possible.
You can learn.
Church of Chromatic Landing.
Yes.
See, I'm learning. I'm being converted.
Yeah, thank you. That was my whole goal here, was to convert you, Ruben.
Excellent. Well, if you win the Standard Open, you thinking about going to Disney World?
Well, I'm going to Disney World anyway. That's why I'm here.
Fair.
This is a side event. But
Main event is Disney World?
Main event is Disney World, followed by Hogwarts. I do plan on getting points for the Players' Championship, because that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Last year you were in the top 5.
Yeah,
for a
I was
long
doing
time.
pretty well before I started working all the events and started winning and not playing fun, silly decks.
Sure.
And I did well. Never won a trophy, though.
Well,
Yeah.
if you can have fun and win
And win.
a trophy, and then go to Disney World.
That's like peanut
sounds
butter,
like a great weekend.
chocolate, and $1 million.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, David McDarby, thank you for joining me in the sideboard.
Thank you, Ruben.
And good luck today.
Thank you.
We'll be back with coverage here from Orlando all weekend long, so stay tuned on SCG Live.